Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Underground Anonymous with me, your host, Sex Idol, and your co host, Jenny. And today's special guest, we have Eggman. How is it going, gamer?
Great. This ain't your dad's podcast. You are tuned in to Sex Idol, Jenny and Eggy, live on Sunday afternoon. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, the world keeps getting worse, and I've always been kind of a contrarian, so it just makes my life better by it's just like circumstantially, you know, mathematically and scientifically better. Somehow, it just happens.
Uh,
So fucking true, honestly.
How is he spitting, honestly? I mean, my father's like that, you know. It's actually really good for his business right now. It's actually really funny because he's like a financial advisor, and since like the whole like world's going to shit, you know, and like inflation's like fucked up right now, he's like getting a shit ton of clients. It's pretty funny.
Based Federico. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I shouldn't fucking say your dad's
No,
name.
I don't. I mean, I don't really mind. He's based. He's based enough. It's more exposure for him. Think about it like that.
True. So he can get more money to go see his girlfriend in Mexico.
My my dad Abraham, he works in subprime mortgage lending, and business is booming. And you know what? So hey, good for him. Me, I'm more about where I'm learning what kind of trees are edible. I'm like crawling around. I feel like they say practice makes perfect. It's kind of like I used to browse lookism forums back in the day, and they would advocate lightly punching yourself in the face all day because it was supposed to make like your face bones stronger. I kind of am treating the world like that right now. I'm kind of sort of just I feel like the roller coaster tracks are kind of running out. You ever play Roller Coaster Tycoon and you run out of tracks and then everyone just dies? I feel like
Yeah.
we're kind of we're running on the tracks right now. The tracks are there. I don't know if they're going to be there. So I'm kind of lightly acclimating by just laying out in dirt in wooded areas and really soaking it in. I'm like, what if I had to do this? I don't have to right now, but I might have to. So I'm taking a little bit at a time, piece by piece, just kind of I think RuneScape is kind of like that. So basically, it's like RuneScape, you got to like just do the same thing over and over again to level up. I'm kind of doing that right now.
Fucking based.
That's true gamer mentality. Holy crap, dude! This guy is the
For
realest gamer
real.
alive, number one. I honestly, I don't think I would do that. Rummage around in the dirt, just
It's like esoteric. You wouldn't get it, Ethan.
I wouldn't, dude. I'm sorry. I'm a little. I like staying inside. You know, I don't like.
Yeah, 'cause you're a fucking League of Legends player.
Cause I,
Don't even.
I don't like going
Hey,
outside. I'm too scared to go outside, dude. Leave me alone.
I never played a lot of League of Legends. I played it like 10 years ago, but basically it's kind of like, you the tower that you attack or whatever, like you like break down their towers or whatever. I don't know if it's even the same. This is what I just remember playing
It's
it
the
10 years
same.
ago.
It's the
Yeah.
exact same.
It's kind of like, our own inhibitions are like our towers, and we need to like respawn and charge at our own inhibitions and kind of like break it down piece by piece, those things that we hold inside, that we lock inside, and we don't want to feel vulnerable because it scares us, but we might be put in a position where we have to face those fears. And so right now, I'm taking my little minions, I'm throwing those little minions at the tower and breaking it down piece by piece until the tower crumbles, the tower of fright and anxiety crumbles, and then I'm able to be myself.
Honestly, how is he fucking spitting? You're a
He,
wise man. You know that.
he is a wise man, dude. Call this man Chinese and old. He is wise. In fact, dude.
So fucking true, Ethan.
You should get a Fu Manchu. That would go so hard.
I
What?
was my mustache. I was lengthening it, but basically I decided to trim it up. It'll grow back again, but I just trimmed it up kind of recently because it was like down over my lip a little bit, and I'm kind of stupid. Even though I'm wise, I'm also kind of stupid. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but so I would be like eating, and sometimes I would just kind of like suck my own mustache by accident, and I was like, it's kind of gnarly. So I think there's probably a trick to not do that, but I just decided to trim up for the summer, get a little more skin for vitamin D to get absorbed into. I think it's good and healthy.
No, dude, don't worry. I do that. I
Very
do that with my
nice.
own hair.
Modest and wise.
My,
Based as fuck.
my hair is so long, dude. I'll just be eating something, and I like all my hair will just get in it, and it's like awful. And I almost
Yeah.
I almost fucking choke on that shit, dude. I almost fucking throw up from all the hair that's in my
You,
mouth.
Ethan.
It's awesome.
Jesus.
And then I have
That's
to like,
not no.
and then sometimes I have to like pull it out, and you get like the piece of food that comes with it. It's like the best.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, I'm definitely at that point where I pretty much always tie my hair up to eat now at this point because yeah, I'm down to like, pretty much like the center of my chest now with how long my hair is, and so and it's summertime, it's picnic time, it's outdoors time. It's just there's so much hair flying all over the place. It's like you pretty much if you're not tying it back, you're in for a bad time. So.
No, I love the hair, dude. It adds flavor. You wouldn't get it. Fucking
Some extra fiber and protein. Yeah, that's right.
no, and then I have a bunch of white hairs. Oh my god! Speaking about eating hair in high school, a bunch of people would like just pick my white hairs and just eat them. Cause it would be
Why
like,
would they eat them though?
it's good luck. It's good luck. Like, dude, that's like 4-day-old not showered hair. Holy crap!
That sounds like Lord of the Rings. Like there'd be like a hobbit with like white hair, like walking through the village, and like, oh, we must pick a piece of his hair for the lucky amulet.
No, this shit went hard though. I don't know why I have white hair. I've always had it. I've always had like white hair since I could remember.
Brandon actually used to have it as well. I think maybe it's just like a Mexican thing.
Dude,
You know what I'm saying?
I hate being Mexican, dude. I swear.
You feel me, G?
I feel you, G. Hold up. All right, let's see. I have some questions that.
Oh, you actually wrote some? This is new, by the way. We never actually asked questions.
Well, the audience probably doesn't know this, but basically, I was when I was in one of my meditation stances recently, I decided to check my unread DMs for the first time in I don't know, probably like 6 months or something like that, and so I kind of postponed on you guys a little bit for like some number of months. I'm not even really sure how many months it was, so I apologize for that. But
Okay.
but hey, gave you some time for the questions, so we're entering a new era, and that's what's up.
No, man. No, it's alright. I don't mind that you dodged us for how long? Fucking. It was a bit. It was a bit, definitely. I would go back and check. I'll check right now after this first question. All right.
Right on.
Let's see. All right. This one. It's let's see. What's your name? What's your full name? I want to know it. Your full name. Let everyone know.
If you can Google, you can Google his, you can Google him and you can pull up his name, right, Ethan?
No, I don't care. What's your name?
Well, it is true that my name is Tobias Thomas Ronaldo.
Full name. Do you have a middle name?
He just said it. Thomas is his middle name, bro.
Yeah, I'm a 2-name guy.
Alright. What's your birthday? Full legal birthday.
Ethan.
Come on, I want to know.
Well,
the day you were born.
The real gamers, they know about this because I've done a birthday live stream every year since 2016. So my birthday is on December 5th. That is true. Yep.
December 5th. What year? What year were you born? I want to know. I can't count backwards, so.
It's true. I was born in 1999. No, I'm just playing.
Not a real game.
But I'm a Zoomer at heart because I'm mentally ill and I spent too much time online, so I'm still out here with all the Zoomer memes too.
Very nice.
What address do you have on your identification card?
Ethan.
What's your full legal address, dude? I want to know. Just a silly little question. Come on. You can tell.
Ethan, you want me to say your address right now, Ethan? I can say yours. I know it by heart now.
Jenny, please.
Well, there is something. This is a little bit of interesting lore here. Basically, I pretty much never. I haven't updated my address in like probably 7 years, or actually maybe 8 years. So
all right, buddy. That's it. You just admitted to a crime.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure it is actually. Well, it's not like a jail crime. It's like a I probably get fined for it. But it has made it a lot harder to dox me. So I'm just kind of just rolling with it. You know, if I hit a brick wall where they're gonna like take me to court or whatever, then we'll see how it goes. But it's made things pretty smooth for me. So I'm just been kind of just letting it rock and roll.
Dude, you're gonna get trolled. You're gonna get trolled so hard by me specifically.
Shit ain't nothing new.
Do you leave your house like anytime? What times do you leave your house? I want to know. Like do you have like a cycle, like a schedule?
No, I intentionally have a continuously changing schedule to throw people off my trail.
I see. All right.
Since Ethan, who literally got followed by like a fucking car for like months.
Dude, leave me alone, dude. I swear, dude.
One time I had people. Well, this was actually at that last place that I lived at. Like when I stopped changing my address, or stopped updating it rather. Yeah, I had people like show up like outside my window. This is like when I was on 4chan, and like I wasn't even all that really. Like all I did was just like post on 4chan. Like I didn't really have anything beyond anything at the time. You know, people because they were able to like from my YouTube videos, they were able to track like the exact car that I had and like the neighborhood I was living in. So I mean, now people they said they did it, or like people on 4chan said they did it, but it could have been just like a drug addict or that was gonna like break into my house. I don't know. Could have been either or. I was living kind of in a tough area at the time. But yeah, I had people vandalize my car at the time. I had people like looking in my windows at the time. So it could have been some random punk kids. It could have been trolls. It's hard to know, but yeah, it definitely it spiced it up at the time. You know, it was interesting because I basically was just alone all the time and really bored and posting on 4chan. So it added a little bit of excitement to my day.
Oh, well, I mean that's nice, you know. No, it's like the whole like non-publicity is a bad publicity. You know what I mean? Where it's like you just anything you can have, you just enjoy.
Yeah, I like to be out. I like to sail, and it's like you know what? Some days you have those waves coming by that you're like, well, you know what? It's a good thing I know how to swim. I hope somebody sees me if I get stuck out here for a little bit. And some days it's just the calmest waters and the brightest sun. You know, you got to, you know, if you have a bad day out on the water, you're never gonna take your boat out again. You know, so it's like you just gotta take the good with the bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
You win some, you lose some.
Did you have insurance for your car?
Always, yeah.
All right, that's good. That's always good.
Well, Ethan, you know that if you don't get insurance for your car, they'll normally like make you pay more, like the DMV, to get your like car registered.
Well, I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't be allowed to drive my car if I didn't.
Dude,
Well, I mean,
I do not
could,
care
like-
about driving a car legally, dude.
that's right.
I've been driving without a license for a year. I barely got it. It goes so hard.
Well, the thing is too is when because I tend to travel a bit, and some places I do, some places I don't. But I have rented a car from time to time, and if you don't have insurance to show for, you have to get like the rental insurance, which is like $30 a day or some crazy shit like that. Sometimes depends on the area, depends on the car. It could be like $10 a day too, but after the fees, then it'll be like $20 a day. So it's just like, you know, if you're already paying, you know, however much a day for a car, you know, it's like it's just worth it to have insurance for that and for everything else. But it still sucks. Insurance is still a fucking scam. Don't get me wrong, it's the scammiest. But
no, dude, you get into one minor thing, dude. Fucking you start paying.
You're paying like $6,000 more a month now.
Wow, dude, it goes so
They
hard.
fuck you over so hard.
and it's really bad for me because I really love to speed like 30 miles over the speed limit at a minimum.
Dude, yo, he's literally like me. Holy crap.
Oh god. Ethan the drunk driver, don't even.
Dude, I love drunk driving, dude. Oh my gosh, it goes so hard.
It's basically like if you're playing like a video game, you know. I mean, excuse the game analogies, but you know, I am a gamer.
Yeah, we're all gamers.
You play easy mode all day or whatever. You're gonna get bored. You want to like up the
You
difficulty
want to play
a little
hard
bit.
mode just a little
that's
bit
right.
some days.
I literally play everything on the hardest difficulty possible. Like, you have no idea. It goes so hard.
Right. So when you want to when you want to have a little more challenge to your day, you know,
Yeah, you
the,
gotta stick.
the quote unquote police, they have some kind of issue with it because they don't want me to have fun.
The mods,
But
dude, the Jannies, I swear.
that's right. The
The
founding
IRL mods
fathers,
and Jannies.
the founding fathers, they were riding horses around. They didn't say, "Oh, you can't not drunk horse." So what's the difference? I think there's no
Nah, you know
difference.
they were so wasted when they were
Dude, no,
riding
they
those
were
damn horses.
literally like a fucking. They were fucked up on those
They were
horses.
fucking plastered while driving horses. Okay.
Dude. They were riding
Um,
horses.
Yo, they had like you could buy like a bottle of fucking codeine for like a toothache. They're guzzling that shit. They're off that lean. They're out there riding horses around all crazy style. They're falling off. They're getting kicked off, broken half. I'm driving my car. It's got a seatbelt, airbag, brakes.
See, that's
You
why
know,
that's why I
you're
love
gonna tell me
Mexico.
that I can't drive after enjoying a nice refreshment. I think that somebody definitely goofed on that one. They want to take my freedom away, but I stand by it. I will continue to be a free man. Thank you very much.
Dude, that's why I love Mexico. It goes so hard, dude. You can literally drunk drive anywhere you want. You can buy any drug you want, dude, at the pharmacy. Like literally, the cops, like as long as you give them a fucking 5, they just leave you alone. You have no
Sounds
idea.
Vacation spot located. Sounds like a good time.
No, literally, dude. I love Mexico. It's not a great place to live. Fucking, you can't own a gun. It's illegal. So,
I heard. Is this true that Mexico recently banned vaping? Somebody told me this. Is that true?
let me check. Did Mexico ban? This is a good. Why would they ban vaping? They banned the sale of e-cigarettes. Yeah.
damn, Charlie can never go because he fucking Jules. It's so over.
We should all smuggle jewels into Mexico and
Oh,
get rich.
They say so you can vape in there, but you can't buy, sell, or bring.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, let's all let's run a nice big U-Haul,
I mean,
a fake floor.
you'll probably get
This is
killed.
this is a joke, by the way.
You're-
We're gonna be the new we're gonna be the vape cartel. That would be so
We're like
gangster.
it's like Breaking Bad but with vapes. Oh my fucking god!
do you know who I
be?
am?
Can I be? I want to be Walter White though.
I'll be.
I think it's only fair.
All right. I'll be Jesse.
Jesse, we need
Jesse,
to bring the vapes. We need to bring the vapes into Mexico, Jesse.
we need to rip fat clouds, Jesse.
Hey yo, Mr. White, let's go rip some fat clouds. Let's go smoke some vapes. I got the strawberry fruity one, Mr. White.
Strawberry fruity ones. At the moment, they only have
I don't.
Virginia tobacco, and then they have menthol. I'm pretty sure.
Do they have flavored vapes?
Oh
I
yeah.
think you gotta they have like flavored vape juice. That was last. I haven't vaped recently, but I did for. I went on like a vaping spree after not vaping for years, and it dried my skin out terribly. Like I immediately broke out because I fucking just like tore through like a shit ton. I just like chain vaped like all day one day when I was bored. But it was this like cookie flavor or something like that. It tasted like warm chocolate chip cookies or some shit like that, and oh, it was good. But yeah, after that, I was like, damn, I looked at myself the next day. It looked like the moon landing on my face. I'm like, damn, got to be a little more, a little more in moderation. And then I kind of just stopped vaping it because it was my voice was burning out. I was smoking. I tried that Delta 8 shit or whatever too. I was like smoking that, and it worked, but it just would like dry me out. And when I was doing these long streams or trying to do vocals and stuff like that, my voice would be all fucked up. And so I just kind of decided, you know what? Got to make some better choices, even though it's a lot of fun. I'm gonna go off that stuff for the moment.
Dude,
That's pretty based.
vaping is for faggots, dude. I don't know if I can say that word. It's for
Ah!
losers. It's for
Ethan,
losers.
Ethan,
I'm
you're gonna go to
gay!
hell, Ethan.
I'm gay. I'm gay. No. You
So
gotta do
I
it.
actually have a few questions. Myself, because I've actually been like, as super cringe. I've been like interested. And I guess I saw like the black pill video and stuff like a
Oh,
really
yeah.
long time
The
ago.
black pill
I
video
was
is so
like
hard.
Yeah, I was rather young when I saw it as well.
Yeah, I get people that tell me like, "Oh yeah, I saw it when I was like 14 years old, and it changed my life forever." And I'm like, "Oh
I
fuck,
saw
I'm
it
sorry."
on iPhone,
Well,
dude.
it couldn't necessarily change my life because I am a girl, but I did see it and it was very interesting. I was about 14 as well, actually. Um, so, one question I meant to ask this in the beginning. What do you think of the thumbnail for the video?
Well, basically, a little history about it for people who don't know. Basically, at the time, so I made that video just after arguing one day. Like, I would go. We were really on this whole like Tinder experiment, like Chad profile versus like beta profile. It was like a really big thing at the time for sort of you know on 4chan. We'd post a lot about it and just like our own experiments and whatever we were doing. And people would just I would just argue with people like I didn't have anything better to do. But if I wasn't at work, I would be like arguing with people in threads on 4chan. So I just got like so frustrated. I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of running through the same argument every single day. I'm just gonna go record this video in my car and just upload it. And anytime I start getting this argument again, I'm just gonna link it because I had a YouTube channel, but it had maybe 50 subscribers. I don't know. Let's say like 30, 40, 50, somewhere in that range. I'm like, I'm gonna post this on YouTube, and every time I get into this argument again about all these redditors trying to argue with me, I'm just gonna link them this and just not waste my time with it anymore. So I went and made the video. It was business as usual, and yeah, basically, another argument came up. I linked it, and all of a sudden, it was just like it was like instant like flame to gasoline. The video just like in one day does like 10,000 views. And then all of a sudden, in another day, there's like another 10,000 views. And it got up to like 30, 40,000 views in less than a week. And I started getting a bunch of subscribers. I would get all these messages. They're like, oh, more Blackfield video, more Black. We need this to get, yeah, yes, more. And it was so, I was not used to this kind of thing because I got like 1,000 subscribers in like 3 days after that. And it was just so crazy to me. Like, I was so overwhelmed that I just, basically was like, fuck this, I'm gonna delete the channel. I'm just gonna wipe the channel because like I'm just so freaked out by this. And so this guy who just called himself like Eggman Never Dies, he when he caught wind of that I was gonna delete the channel, he archived the entire channel at the time. And then he, like the day that I delete, because I did delete the channel because I was just like so freaked out by it. I was so overwhelmed. And then he re-uploaded the entire channel right away. And so if it wasn't for that guy, yeah, it would have just been like a flash in the pan 4chan thing and a lost video. So I think the thumbnail, it's pretty iconic, I guess, at this point, but yeah, it would have all been gone if not for that one random guy that archived it. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. It was pretty wild how it all went down.
Well, shout out to that guy, honestly.
Yeah, that guy is actually based, dude. Let's go. Shout out Eggman Never
Another
Dies.
question that Ethan and I discussed was, how did you, I guess, deal with the whole accusation, I suppose, of you being that one shooter? Like, what happened to you because of that?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really necessarily. I mean, I guess you could say I was sort of, slandered or whatever, but for the most part, I mean, I was just, like a guy working at a gas station, so it wasn't like I wasn't in college or anything. I didn't really have, even though like even people around me or people who knew me like mentioned it to me. It was just kind of like we were just talking about the weather. It was pretty funny. But basically, the way that it went down was, in my time of being a trip code user and something of people did not have a very good opinion of me on 4chan at the time. It seems like as the years have gone by, it's like people have kind of have a more positive opinion of things that I have done in the past now, but at the time it was like, oh, this guy's such a pain. We really, he's a attention seeker. We don't like him at all. And so when the shooting happened, there was like, oh crap, this guy posted on the thing that it was like some guy from 4chan, and it was, as far as we know, that the guy who did it he did post something about it on 4chan. And so when that was sort of out there as a detail, people are like, oh, well, let's just say Eggman did it because fuck that guy, I hate him. Let's just see if they take the bait. And they took that bait so hard the hook went right through their head, pretty much. So they just latched right on. And so what happened was I actually was out uh, probably a few hours, maybe like 3 or 4 hours out from where the shooting had been at the time, because I had just been out doing a little bit of like a road trip situation, basically, just something to kind of clear my mind. It was after the Black Pill video, and I was just sort of, I wasn't feeling the greatest. I thought maybe a little road trip, a little bit of sightseeing would kind of make me feel better, so that's what I did. And I got out to Washington State, and I took my car in to just kind of get oil change and tires rotated and everything to get it kind of back up to speed for going back east. Um, and so I'm sitting there at like the auto shop, just kind of chilling, and I open up 4chan. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm just like, just a little 4chan browsing while I'm bored here. I didn't do social media or anything like that. And I opened it up. It was 4chan's birthday. It was October 1st. So it was like the 4chan birthday date. So everything had the party hats on it. And so I opened it up. The whole R9K catalog is all pictures of me, which, people would post me at the time, so it wasn't unusual, but I was just like, that's a little strange. Then I go to the poll board, and the #1 thread is a picture of me, like the most replies. And I'm like, oh, ha, 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 these guys are silly, they're, I'm thinking it's just some silly little thing, like, oh, yeah, they're, okay, yeah, whatever, I know people on there had a negative opinion of me, so I'm like, oh, okay, that's funny, whatever. I didn't really think too much of it. So my car's done, and I get gas, and I just start heading out, and I drive out about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and I stop to take a piss, and I look at my phone, and like I said, I didn't have social media at the time. All I had was just Snapchat. That's what I'd use to like talk to people on 4chan, as like a sort of an international texting thing, because no matter what, where they were at, we could just type to each other on Snapchat or picture or whatever. And I look at it, and it just has this plus on it, and I'd never seen that before. I was like, new friend plus. Usually at the time it would just say like new friend 1, new friend 2. If people added you, but it said plus. I open it, and it's got like 50 new people have added me, so I just start accepting it, and it's like I'm getting all these messages. Hey, hello, this is NBC News. This is Fox News. This is ABC News. You are the #1 suspect. But the shooter is dead. Are you alive? Please confirm. Are you the shooter or not? And all this shit. And so I just, like the first guy who the message comes through, I'm like, LOL, what? I'm like, whoa, what? And he's like, so you are Toby Reynolds and you are currently live? And I'm like, yeah. Okay. So then that was Tom Winter from NBC News tweeted. I was like, NBC News has confirmed that the so-called Eggman is alive and is not the Oregon school shooter. He is alive. And so then I just posted, I think they did have stories at the time, like Snapchat stories, as I recall. Because it seems to me like I posted on my Snapchat story, I was like, if you added me about this dumb shit, like, just go fuck yourself because you're an idiot. And so then I had a couple, like I had the New York Times or whatever reach out to me, and they're like, oh, would you like to talk to us about how you got falsely accused? I'm like, how about you suck my dick, because you're just trying to like get your daily quota off of something you did, your mistake. You fucked up, and now you want me to make you money by talking to you so you can run another story and make more money. I'm like, how about you just get fucked? And so that was about the end of it, really. It was just kind of a funny little, I mean, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was kind of funny. And maybe it had some kind of harm to my reputation, but as the years went by and they started coming out with the whole, incel thing, when that started coming out, it was like, it didn't really matter anymore, because they just had me pegged as like lay evil virgin man. And so that's, if they wanted to keep shitting on me, they had their new fuel to do so. And so it was like they were kind of embarrassed for a few years, and then when they had something else to shit on me about, then they just didn't care about that old stuff anymore. And so that's just kind of how it's been.
Yeah, no, speaking of the new rise of like incel culture, I guess you could call it. You've how have you been like what is your opinion on it? I want to know. Like, what do you think about it?
Well, basically, I think it's all very sensationalized. I guess there was a point in time where I had a higher opinion of society and of people, and I never thought that we would get to such a point where, this sort of high school bully, you get no pussy mentality would sort of manifest itself as like American quote unquote terrorism policy or whatever. Like, oh, I'm Joe Biden and these guys get no pussy. We need to get rid of them. I mean, just it's just so bizarre to me. I mean, like, I obviously there's been like, I to a degree, like, okay, people have invoked, that they get no pussy, and that's why it's central to why they but it's not that, and even just myself as a basement dweller, I've been able to suppose a lot of things about just how the loss of cohesion in interpersonal interactions in our society, the greater atomization, I mean, this was even before the whole COVID thing, because then it's like people are, you're spending all your time inside, you don't go outside, you don't talk to anybody. So even the average normal person, that's not even predisposed to an antisocial lifestyle is essentially finding themselves in this position where even if they're the most social and they're the most healthy, that they were forced to change some of their behaviors. And if they're someone who is very keen to follow what is set forth by society, then they're really engaging in even greater antisocial behaviors than the antisocial people would have, let's say 5 years ago. And so that just really shakes everything up even more and causes a greater disturbance, I think, in a lot of people's well-being. But yeah, it was never, in my opinion, it's never been about like that. I in my thinking and in my supposing and in my readings and writings and things that I had done about it, it was always more to do with just a greater rejection from from a social in-group, and it may manifest as this strong desire for an interpersonal relationship that is less likely than ever at this point in time, just due to how sort of lax our social code has become, to where everything is more it's more open, but it's also just more like inhuman and more lifeless at the same time. This sort of assembly line, this sort of fast food hookup tech culture, this inhuman social media culture where everyone is so disconnected, but at the same time they're constantly connected. I think that even though maybe I had a different opinion, let's say 10 years ago, where it was just more of a general laxing of social standards and what am I thinking here? Social, like the bar, so like lowering the bar of what was the typical acceptable social circumstances. I think now, with the rates of people, I think people are just kind of getting comfortable with replacing human relationships with technology, replacing a relationship with an OnlyFans subscription, replacing a fulfilling romantic relationship with a bunch of, random hookups and other pleasure-seeking activities that really just take away from the human spirit, in my opinion. And so that's kind of where my mind has gone to in recent years about the whole thing. But anyways, back to the topic at hand, though. I think the numbers have been going, unfortunately, more and more in that direction, the more dehumanized, more isolated and atomized direction. And I do not think it's going to change unless something grand were to happen that would necessitate a disturbance in the comfort in these routines, these more hands-off, more no strings attached routines that people have found themselves in the modern day. I think that nothing's going to be resolved. We can all do our part to, take a stand against these things when we recognize that they are bad, and improving ourselves and changing what we have around us. They say you change your home, then you can change your street, then you can change, and you got to like work it up a little bit. So I think those changes that start in the home with your own routines and your own behaviors, and not succumbing to these comforts that are really poisonous to us in the larger picture, I think that that's going to be the best defense and the best thing we can do for ourselves now. But as far as a society-wide, I think that we're going to have to just let things fall where they may, as unfortunate as that might be, until we're able to institute some better improvements in our way of life.
I hear
I
you,
agree.
brother. I hear you,
Yeah,
brother. You
he's
want to know?
spitting.
You. Let me see. So, what I got from that is you want me to build multiple citywide EMPs and detonate them across the entire United States, so that it forces people to get out of their rooms and off their phones and go outside and actually do work and actually do interact with people and do stuff instead of watching TV and chatting with their funny little voices online and games, you know. That's exactly what I heard right now, dude.
Well, I would
Every
say,
word.
while you're saying that, it's kind of funny because I had supposed something recently. I was like, I was really super on Twitter a lot when I had my Twitter, which I haven't for like, since like March of last year now. When I had a bigger, I had a bigger YouTube channel at one point. Yeah, I had, some of these things where I was really, yeah, they would soak up a lot of my time, and I was really invested in them. And by essentially, for mostly BS reasons, having these accounts taken from me, it was sort of, yeah, I had if I wasn't feeling too good, I'll just sit on Twitter, I'll scroll, I'll post memes or whatever, it would soothe me in a way. And to lose that, I kind of had to face some uncomfortable things that I hadn't really been facing in my life, like, okay, I'm kind of neglecting this, I'm neglecting that. And by losing those accounts, it made me more inclined to start being a bit more responsible in some areas. And actually, I got this news headline forwarded to me. In fact, I probably have it on my phone here if I just look at this real quick. Essentially, it was saying, I do live in the Midwest, and there was here we go. The North American Electric Reliability Corporation has stated 2/3 of the United States will face the prospect of total blackouts this summer. And basically, they're saying just about everything west of the state of Michigan is at risk to just essentially lose electricity because the infrastructure is waning. And I guess there's some like regulations too
Go. I'm
where
off the
they
grid,
are.
baby.
I guess, yeah, like I read the article and they're saying something too that they're like, oh well, we have too many emissions anyway, so, which to me it sounds a little suspicious. It's kind of even the same thing when the supply chain
Food when the
began to
when the food factories are burning down, dude.
yeah, the food factories burning down. There was already instability in the supply chain preceding the COVID pandemic, and then it kind of seemed like, oh well, of course there's the supply chain disruption happening. Look, there was lockdowns, and now it's like, oh well, of course, 2/3 of the U.S. is going to lose electricity without any warning from time to time because we're trying to be better for the environment. It just sounds like a lot of BS to me. It sounds like it's more like
of course
the breakdown.
we're
Yeah.
gonna make you pay 5.40 for gas because it's good for the environment because we don't
Yeah.
want to frack on American soil, dude. We want to steal
Well, yeah.
Venezuela's shit.
Well, and they're saying that the Russian-Ukraine conflict was to do with the fuel. When I'm pretty sure that was already debunked at a point. I don't have the specific resource on me right now, but essentially, the fuel price increase was it was in the pipeline, like that things were going to be happening, and that it was trending that direction before there was any of this Russian invasion stuff or anything like that. So, you gotta. I mean, that's how I do. I always. Even if it's something that's extremely agreeable with me, I always want to really give it the full 360, like look at every bit, really read between the lines a little bit, kind of just get my eyes right up in there to know exactly if it all seems on the level or if it seems like, okay, yeah, they're covering this up, whatever that case might be. But that's just the kind of thing. And I think those people you're in this like I was saying, this sort of comfortable but also negative position. If you are you're eating what they give you, you're being fed by this same structure, with what you're being told that is the truth and what the important news is and things. They will, I believe, certainly just lead you right to in front of harm's way, if it suits them. And so that's why it's all the better to unplug yourself from that and be more critical now and really double and triple check everything and be able to have some independence in your thought and action where you're not going to need to rely on this structure if you can help it. Now, obviously, historically speaking, the United States government is not very fond of that, and they tend to, seek out people who are trying to be independent. But you don't need to build a compound. You know what? That's all right. You could just start off with, just what I've been doing lately. After I heard about this blackout news in the potential future, I've just been sort of going through and thinking to myself, all right, if I didn't have power for 5 days, how am I going to operate? What am I going to need to continue living life the way that I'm trying to live it? If this happens, they're saying it might happen. They might be full of crap, but if I'm taking them for their word right now, what's the best course of action for me, especially in the summertime if it's going to be really hot? I'm not down south, but if I was, then it'd be probably doubly important. So that's just kind of where I'm at with it all, as far as keeping my mind open, my eyes and ears open, and trying to just be in the best position that I can be in moving forward.
How many watch lists are you on? If you are on it,
Are you on any?
Yeah, are you on any?
Well,
if you know of. Who you
well,
suspect?
I've never done an FOIA or whatever on myself, and I'd probably rather not because I sleep easier. Just ignorance is bliss kind of thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I did have the FBI at my house before, not even for tweets, although they did tell me they were monitoring my Twitter account at the time when they showed up, but it was because they had footage from 2018 where I had watched a couple of Elliot Rodger videos that were on YouTube at the time. I watched them on live stream, and they're like, "What is your connection to Elliot Rodger? We have this clip here where you're watching his video. What do you know? Did you talk to him? Do you know anything?" And I'm like, no, I just watched a YouTube video.
Funnily enough, I have like this huge shooting target on my wall of Elliot Rodger, because and he lingers over me as I sleep. It's right above my bed. It's the fucking scariest thing.
Yeah, nice.
So hard.
Yeah, they pretty much just told me at the time, they're like, well, if you hear of any celibate people that are about to go insane, please call the FBI immediately. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't interact with feds like you, so I'm probably not gonna hear anything about that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Dude, speaking about feds, dude.
Okay, you go ahead. Ethan.
No, wait, are we gonna talk about Deemerfest? I'll talk about.
Yeah. Because Cowboy Joker in the chat at the moment asked for you to talk about Doomerfest. So,
Yeah.
anything you want to say about it? I guess.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Any comment?
I mean, I had a good time. I had a really good time actually. I didn't realize like that anybody was like not with it until like pretty much after I got home. Because I got home and then I started streaming like a couple days after I got home and like, yo, what's up with the Doomerfest drama? So as I mentioned a few minutes ago here, I haven't been on Twitter since last spring. That was when my account got banned and I just didn't care to go back. So I'm like, I'm free.
Finally.
Yeah.
They're like, what do you think about those tweets? And I'm like, didn't read them. See, the way that I kind of approach drama in general is it going to have a severe impact on my day-to-day life? If not, I could pretty much just totally not ever look at it, hear it, or ever even know of it. But I did hear about it. I did, people were sending me all the relevant links and things at the time. But I mean, yeah, I had a great time. I like to. I'm going on like another sober streak now, but I do, especially when performing and things like that. I really enjoy to get a good buzz going. But yeah, like Philadelphia, they only have, you can only buy liquor in like government buildings. They have like government owned liquor stores, and then otherwise you can like buy beer at other places, but so they have this weird stuff down there that I've never seen anywhere else. But they have like super hard wine because like technically it's wine, so it falls under beer and wine. But it was like really strong, like Mad Dog 2020 kind of like glass bottle, like glass pint wine. So that was kind of interesting, the things they do to get around those regulations. But
That
that was
goes for
probably the one
both.
thing. Also, I didn't, I thought the show was going to be at one place, but then they kind of had it in a different place to sort of dissuade the haters. So then I had to like Uber, had to Uber a little bit to get there. But it was all, it was all good by the time, cause yeah,
What'd you think about the zero Bryn situation?
yeah. I mean, I
I
guess like I was there, like I was like pretty much right by the crowd when it happened, but I was so busy talking to all kinds of people that I just didn't even really pay attention to it. I think even after it happened, I still wasn't really paying attention. I did see the guitar smashing, which I thought that was pretty metal. And when like Zany got like the chunk of guitar like thrown at him, whatever, I thought that was pretty metal, and that was pretty rock and roll. Um, I mean, I know a lot of people had a really like deeply negative opinion of that punching situation. I still don't really know what, because that was just the thing. Like I was there. It wasn't like a, oh, stop the music. Oh my goodness. It was like none of that. Everybody was like, oh damn, that happened. Well, it's crazy. Yeah. Woo. And then just all continued on as usual. And then I get home and it's like, oh my goodness, controversy. I mean, I don't know if it was, I'm not either of those people, so I don't know like really had they agreed on like maybe a staged thing and maybe there was a mishap and it wasn't staged. I do feel bad that the woman in question, was injured. I think that, I don't think anybody really wanted that as far as I know. Um, so I think it was an unfortunate situation, and maybe it did sully the reputation of the event in people's eyes, and I would understand why they would feel that way. Just me as somebody who was on the ground at the time, it was all like good, positive rock and roll the whole time that I was there. I never saw anything really unusual at all, or really overheard anything negative pretty much at all. Actually, on the ground at the event, it was only after the event that I started hearing these things. So, as far as me being there, I had a great time and I really enjoyed it a lot. As far as the aftermath of whatever, it's unfortunate, and that's about all I really have to say.
yeah, that's pretty fair.
He's a
Um,
gamer. Yeah.
he's a gamer.
He beats, dude.
Um,
Honestly, I'm on Zero's side. As much as I love Bryn, dude, beating women, where can you go wrong with that?
Ethan, Charlie says to turn up your mic in OBS, because you're like apparently like super quiet
Oh,
on stream.
have I been really quiet?
Apparently, yeah.
I don't know.
Um,
Everybody sounded good to me. I guess I think I never really checked my mic, but
I think it might just be in the stream. Because
Alright.
everybody sounds pretty good to me, but like I'm not sure because I'm not like listening to the stream.
All right, there we go. Do I sound better,
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Charles?
Charles.
All right. Hopefully, I sound better. All right. Anyways, let me see. What
What's
other
your favorite
questions?
color?
Yeah. What is your favorite color?
I'm just a real gamer. It's always been blue. As the years went by, I'm like aquamarine. I'm cool with that. Teal. I'm cool with that. I think there was some other color here. I forget what they call it. It was like I had some like Poseidon blue or something. I have like some colored pencils here. I have all these different shades of blue, like blue, green, and blue, purple, like all across the blue spectrum. I just always like that. I really love the sea. I really am a big like on the water kind of guy. So those colors remind me of that too, and I always thought that was really nice.
What?
That's,
Oh yeah.
I was just gonna say that's pretty cool. You go ahead, Ethan.
I was gonna ask. Do you squirt? How far do you squirt? Like what's the furthest you've ever squirted?
Well, listen, I'm gonna tell you like this. So people who know about me, they know I got this supplement. There was this thing on 4chan probably 10 or 11 years ago. They call it the Holy Grail stack, and it essentially was a male enhancement stack, and of just like random vitamins and stuff you could buy at the store. So in late 2014, early 2015, There's an Egg Wars video about this, I believe, on the Egg White archives still as well. People could probably go look this up, but I think it's called like First Time with a 4chan Woman or something. Basically, I had a little dry spell going on. Really, they say I'm La Evil Virgin, but it just wasn't the truth because I did meet up with an e-girl. Bada bing, bada boom. It's like a 40-minute video,
Damn. He did the deed, bro.
No, quick rundown. Okay, hold on. This is probably it's a little explicit, but I have a final point to make here since you did ask the question. So basically, quick rundown. I was basically Noodle Mode. I was like, I don't get it. I don't know what's going on. I didn't realize like something was malfunctioning. Essentially, I was malfunctioning, and she basically just kind of laughed in my face. It was very humiliating. And I didn't understand what was wrong, and so I essentially went back home, defeated. I felt, like less than, and so I kind of just really hit the ground running. I'm like, what is the problem here? I just don't understand it. And so I ended up finding this Holy Grail thing, and I started kind of I took all the components of it, and I was kind of just like taking. I broke down. I was like, well, what does this do? What does this do? There's like 7 different things there, 8 different things in it. I'm like, what does this do? And I kind of realized that I could kind of reduce it a little bit to just sort of more of a general like circulation enhancement sort of thing. Because what I didn't realize at the time, I was sort of a pornography addict. I didn't know at the time. I didn't realize that was doing anything bad. They didn't have like this was maybe they had no fat, but I don't remember hearing about it or anything like that at the time. So I didn't realize I had this addiction problem, and so basically my brain was fried. Like I had like the highest quality. I literally was like a super user on this torrenting site. It was out of control. So I was in deep, and so I kind of pulled away from that.
What was your favorite genre? Sorry to interject. I want to know favorite category.
Large boobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I never got into like quote unquote fetish. Didn't really appeal to me at all. I just like women with big jugs. That's what I liked. But
big boobs. If you have fat tits, hit him up.
To like maybe like 3 women that listen to this at most.
Yeah.
Please
anyways,
hit him up.
Well, I'll just kind of finish this up here because it's kind of just it's a little crude and everything anyway. So I pretty much decided to step away from that, and I started taking these. After I kind of like did my research, I'm like, well, I don't think I need these. So let me try these things. And I took those, and I just felt totally revitalized. And so when I started streaming, it came up like the topic of pornography addiction had come up on some of my early streams. And so I was like, well, there's a stack I take. I called it the diamond stack. I was like, because basically, self-explanatory. And so I was like, the thing of it is, people did eventually tell me, oh, it could be better. Like, I could improve it a little bit now. And you should also take like a multivitamin with it because I take zinc and you're supposed to have like copper if you take zinc. Otherwise, it like leaches the copper or whatever. But anyway, basically that and a daily multivitamin was like a very successful sort of male revitalization formula of sorts. And so, yeah, basically... Let's just say, I've had a lot of dudes tell me that they tried taking it to kind of get their mojo back, and it's the real deal. I've never used a referral link. I want to say this: I've never used a single referral link. I had a company reach out to me because now they do have PKA is working with Derek More Plates More Gorilla Mind. They have like a Gorilla Mind male revitalization formula that I forget the name of right now. But I basically had a somebody reach out to me at the time, and they're like, "Oh, we could get you your own supplement deal. Like this works. Let's do business." And I said, I will not profit off of if I can help another guy out that's going through something. Like I don't want to profit off that. It doesn't feel right to me. So I never did a referral link. I never earned a penny off it, and I felt like that was the right thing to do. I felt like it shouldn't be monetized. I feel like we're living in a society that already wants to monetize our pain, and they do things, it's like the meme, they sell us poison so that we buy their cures, like for real. And so we are still buying these products, but I didn't want to be like a middleman trying to like, nickel and dime people off that shit. So, but anyways, yeah, if you take that diamond stack,
good guy Eggman, dude, good guy Eggman.
You'll see the
Okay.
difference. I'm just saying, but yeah.
What
Swears
any
by it. This
any
is the
name?
first here.
Any names for the supplements? For a friend. Just asking.
Well,
Shut up, Ethan.
I'll tell you. I mean, yeah, hold on. So the supplement, I'll tell you what people have told me that I should change it to, but I'll give you what it is right now. So it's maca root, zinc, pygium, sunflower lecithin, and L-arginine. However, people told me that L-citrulline is better than L-arginine, but L-arginine, you're going to find it in pre-workouts as well. I can break all these things down, really. L-arginine, you're going to find it in pre-workouts because it is a circulation enhancer. Maca root, it's basically been eaten in South America for thousands of years. It's sort of a natural, basically, if you buy it at the store, it says, like, reproductive health. Yeah, it kind of explains it. Zinc, also just a very general male. A lot of these ones that you'll find at the store that are just, like, sort of unknown male quote unquote enhancement brands, they usually build off a zinc base. Sunflower lecithin again is basically something that is more circulation enhancement, and then pygium is it's made of a bark, and it's basically like a male reproductive health supplement as well. That it kind of not to get too graphic here, but let's just say well, maybe I won't say. I don't
No,
know.
say. You can be
Yeah,
as
yeah, you
graphic
can
as you
say
want.
it.
You
It
can
doesn't
say.
Well,
matter.
as Ethan said, he said, about, quote unquote squirt. Let's just say, basically, if you take pygium, the specific benefit of that I have seen, it turns a leaky faucet into a fire hose, and that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. You're gonna be,
That's all he's
you're-
got to say, guys.
You know what?
you go to the bar. If you're at the bar, you go to the men's bathroom. You're taking that. They're gonna hear it from even if they got play music. It's gonna be, Anyways, yeah. That's all I gotta say about that.
It's like the meme, dude. Well, look how hard I can pee.
It's for like you would definitely be the victor if you take that. I ain't gonna lie.
I would. You know what? I need to start peeing like a fire hydrant, dude. I think it's time.
So fucking based.
How on the topic of penises, forgive me, Jenny.
Oh my god.
How long is your penis? I want to know.
Well,
I want to know
basically,
everything about you.
I'm gonna tell you this. I made a promise. For some reason, when the first couple years that I was streaming, people would constantly ask me about my penis, and I don't know why. I did talk about it at the time, and then I decided, because I kept on having LGBT men come into my stream to really I don't know, make things uncomfortable. Like they were I don't know, they would say things to me that made me uncomfortable. So I decided at that time that maybe I was pandering to an audience that I shouldn't. And so at that time I said, I'm not going to talk about my penis anymore. I know I've been talking about the stack a little bit here, kind of, a roundabout sort of thing, but yeah, I've decided that it's only for my future trad wife to know, and for nobody else to have to hear about anymore.
No. All right. Well, sorry for all the gay men out there that wanted to know
For any
Eggman's
gay
penis.
men interested, do not hit him up.
Unless you're a trad boy wife with massive honkers.
Ron Paul made anime real.
So true.
Oh, did you go to Virgin Fest?
Oh yeah, I was there.
What
Yeah, how'd you miss that, Ethan? He was
I-
on the lineup and everything.
I did not watch any of it, dude. I did not care.
I didn't
for
watch it
you.
either, but I just know that.
Anyways, what did you enjoy more, Virgin Fest or Doomer Fest?
Well, I mean, I was really happy that Doomer Fest didn't have any, that we were actually able to do what we wanted to do. So to me, I that's why I also thought Doomer Fest, by the time we left, after the second night, and there wasn't any, we weren't being terrorized at all. I was like, okay, hey, even better, I was
No,
totally
no
carefree.
cops, no cops, and no Antifa members.
But well, the other thing, I mean, I didn't really have any. I mean, as far as everything went, I mean, it was a whole super fucked up situation. But somebody threw water at me, but from 20 feet up, and so it actually felt really good. I was definitely super. I started drinking at 10 a.m. that day, so I was totally I was off my ass,
No,
and then
a real gamer, dude, real gaming moment.
yeah. I mean, as far as on the technical side of things, it was certainly, lacking, of course. As far as like, it was kind of a shit show. It kind of was a shit show, yeah. But I mean, I was so like off my ass, and then like, after we started kind of closing it down, I had these guys pick me up, and they took me to like this big like music producer studio, and we like made like fire music, and I was like fucked up. I was on like everything. Just like this guy, he's like a big producer, and he like just sat there and like made beats for me, and I was like freestyling and shit, and we were all there. Just like I was putting on like Sneed videos on his TV and shit, and we're just like sitting there, just like getting fucked up and just like partying, like smoking that good ganja and just kicking some funky shit.
Were you smoking that chronic, dude?
Yeah, it was that rapper weed.
Hell yeah, dude. I need to get some rapper weed. Dude, you should fucking you should get me some rapper weed. That would go so hard.
Well, I was out in Colorado about 4.5 months ago. Actually, yeah, it was about 4.5 months ago, almost a little bit more than half. But yeah, they got it out there. They had.
I'm like a state away. Hell yeah, time to go over there.
Yeah, and you could go visit Caius.
I can go visit Caius.
You should go check it out. I mean, yeah, they had like this. It was good flour, and they had like these crazy like. We got these like crazy like golden wraps and stuff. They were like but I don't know. It was like but they burn really good. Like I don't know. I thought it was something that was just like, oh, it's kind of funny. Oh, it's a little joke. But then they had like these good like filter tip like flavored cones.
I love flavored cones.
Yeah, we just like picked up, and we were like grinding up with these flavored cones. They were burning so good. It was smoking so good. Sheesh. And then we climbed this mountain, which we didn't really mean to, but. Well, there's a video. It's Rocky Mountain High on Simmy and Jimmy's Treehouse channel, where we were like gonna go just like because we were like staying at this hotel or at this casino, and we were just gonna go up the road basically and just kind of park over to the side and record it there. But then Monkey was like, "Oh, and it's too close to the road. They're gonna hear cars, so let's walk up a little bit more." And all of a sudden, we're like at the top of the mountain. That's all we did. Like the whole day was climb, and also it was only like 11 a.m. But I was already drinking because I was in the casino playing roulette and like getting drinks and shit.
Dude,
so I'd already been gambling and drinking. That's why I'm on my sober mode now. I'm trying to be sober for, if I can get to like 4th of July, that's kind of what I'm aiming for right now if I could help it. But I mean, I was putting it. Well, then I got so high because we had like 5 different edibles we reviewed. It was only like one, serving of each, but we get back down to the bottom of the mountain, and I get by the time we got back down. And we got to the hotel room. I passed out for like 3 hours. Then I got up.
That's such a good way to start a story. We accidentally climbed a mountain.
Well, it's true. We definitely did not plan to. We had to eat snow off the mountain to stay hydrated because we didn't really bring water or anything. Then we're going down, and so like when I get hot, you got like cotton mouth and shit, and so I'm having like just like keep fistfuls of snow like in my hands at all times to like not die.
Dude, you gotta try the yellow snow. Sorry, go on.
I woke up like in the hotel room, like Monkey. He had like gone to eat and gamble some more, and I had got like a comped like $50 buffet for being like a new member of the casino or whatever. Maybe I gambled enough to like be a new member and get it or whatever it was. So I went and just like gorged on this super good casino buffet up until I did not leave the table until they just closed the buffet. I was there for like 2 hours.
They go so hard. Holy crap.
Yeah, it was good.
All right. We've been going on for an hour. We're just letting you guys know we can go on. We can keep going. Just
Sure. I'll have do we have like more questions? 'Cause I'll just be going probably a little bit soon here because I'm gonna make dinner and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, you can go whenever you want. You
yeah.
know. I'm just letting you know.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Are you gonna go right now?
No, I'll go. I was kind of if there was some more questions because I'll kind of like start trending in that direction here, probably like in the next like 15 minutes. But
your whole music career, or like how did you start that?
When did you start making music? And then who are your, I guess, biggest music inspirations or your favorite musicians alone?
Sure. Well, I really got into music. I mean, I played music since a kid. Like, up before I was even in junior high, we had sort of like a pre-junior high music program at school at the time, and so I think in fourth grade, I picked up the violin, and I played the violin for a few years at the time. Unfortunately, they had to cut down the program and so to save money, so they ended up cutting the violin out. It was just me and like a couple other people that played violin, so they cut that out, unfortunately. But then I played some piano. Then my grandmother, who I spent a lot of time living with from time to time, she had a piano, and so this was, like, let's say 7th, 8th grade. So I would have been, like 13, 14. So this is where they would have the ability to get some sheet music online at the time. I had gotten gifts of a couple different sheet music things gifted to me just by some relatives and stuff, because they knew that I was learning the piano, and so I was able to learn some of the songs that I liked. And I just never really dove into it very, like, seriously. I kind of just would play it because I like to play it. I just didn't really go into it as much as I should have. And that kind of mimicked where I ended up with other stuff, because after I graduated high school in 2010, I didn't want to go to college. I had been a terrible student. I basically had straight Fs constantly. I was always skipping school and all things like that. It's like, I don't want to go to college because that's just going to be a waste of money. So I took some money that I had, and I basically got, some basic production tools for making beats. And so what I would do then, I had a laptop, and I would essentially go through. I was on like uTorrent or whatever, and the 2000, or I can't remember. They had some old version of it that you would use because it was like the most secure. I forget exactly how that all was, but it's what I used at the time. I had like the secure version, and I would go through and download music from like the 60s and 70s. And I would just listen to it, and then I would like kind of sample certain things out of it that I liked. And, this was before like YouTube tutorials. It wasn't really out there like this at the time. So I just went and bought some like secondhand college, like music literature, essentially, on like how to do these things. And I kind of sat there and looked at it and like drooled at all the stuff. I was like, okay, that's cool. But I was more like, I'm going to start it. And when I hit something that I want to do and don't know how, then I'm going to figure out how to do that. And more or less, when it came to music, that's kind of just always been how I do it. I never really got a comprehensive education on it. It was more like, okay, well, I should do this. I want to do this. So how do I do that? Okay, that's how? Okay. And, but, so I was a producer at the time. I was just kind of making those, like, kind of chopped up, sort of like chopped and sampled sort of 60s and 70s like soul funk type beats. That's what I liked. But I found that I was selling beats through my Facebook page at the time, and I tried Twitter. It was really just so saturated that, and myself being a bit of an amateur did not help. So I was pretty much there with like 1,000 other guys, we're all trying to undercut each other, to where now you have like the free beats on YouTube and stuff, like free beats, but if you want to use it in a real song, then you got to pay. That concept was not out there at the time. So we're out there like, oh, buy my beat for $1, please. I need to buy ramen noodles to survive. Okay, no, I'll do 2 beats for $1, So I'm sitting there, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not going to be Jay-Z doing this or whatever. So, and I didn't want to rap at the time because I always been very like introverted, and I wasn't used to talking or anything like that. I didn't really talk to anybody, so I didn't really have a good handle on my voice. So I was like, oh, okay, well, this shit ain't really going anywhere. So I kind of just let it sit and collect dust for a while. I went and worked retail jobs just to make a living. And then in 2015, I was working. I was working at the gas station, or a gas station, on overnights, and I was doing a little bit of overtime at the time, so I was making some extra money. And I'm like, I should think about investing this or something. So I went and just decided to create my own rap collective called Ugly Gang, which was then later stolen by Smoke Perp and Lil Pump in like 2016. But that, it is what it is. I had like 10 views, so like I came up with
you started that shit first, dude. You should sue.
I was first, but when they kind of jacked it, I was like, well, it is what it is. And so I just decided to start rapping on like my USB mic to kind of see how it do. And I still had not really found my voice. It's like you listen to it and I'm just like, yo, what's up, guys? Egg White, or I call myself Egg White because people would call me Eggman. Actually, I'm trying to. Yeah, I think I'm trying. I don't know if I even had. I'm not sure if I even was calling myself Egg White at the time. I forget. I might have just been still calling myself Eggman. But I was just kind of fucking around, or just calling myself like Ugly Gang. But because I started using Egg White more at like the end of 2015. But that was when I kind of actually just started like actually putting things together, and it was just totally, it was like Xbox Live quality type, headset quality. So it wasn't all that, but then I came back towards like when I started streaming again at the end of 2016 after I'd gone through some things in life. I came back and tried to take it a little more seriously, and then I started upping my production, like looking into better production. Like by spring of 2017, I had really studied how to do better production, and that certainly paid dividends, where it actually sounded like real music and not just guy talking into his headset quality. And so as time went on, I did a lot of music in 2017, 2018. And then I kind of fell out of love with it again. And I was kind of just pretty depressed through a lot of 2018. And then I came and at the end of 2018, I started doing music again. And that was when I made that Alex song. Well, which was actually funny. I've mentioned it before. People kind of, it is what it is. It usually falls by the wayside. It was really just like a test to see like what it would sound like if I yelled into my microphone. Because I had never tried to yell like that into my microphone before. So I just did that, and I posted on Twitter. I'm like, hey, do you guys think it sounds like shit or what? And all of a sudden, it just went like super crazy, and it was like everywhere. Never meant for it to be like that, but that's kind of how it is sometimes.
Yeah.
But that I will say though, the reception of that kind of continued pushing me to do more music, and then I did a good amount 2018, 2019, and up until like early 2020, and then I started kind of tapering off a bit again. I sort of was kind of falling out of love with it a little bit. There was lockdowns going on, all that stuff, and I was kind of like, eh. So I did some in 2020. I did like, a little bit in 2021, but then that was when I started getting into my freestyles on my streams, to which now there's a collection online. It's got like 300 freestyles. So I started getting into the freestyles more, and it was like, to me, not even, it's not as much of a cohesive song, although I can pretty much freestyle entire songs at this point, and choruses and everything. But to me, it scratched an itch of, I want to be challenged. I didn't feel challenged. I felt like I could rap. Okay, I know I can rap. I can sit here and make songs, but I'm not going to really have a high opinion of my own music because I feel like I'm not being challenged. I'm not challenging myself this way anymore. So that's when I kind of rolled over into the freestyles, and it was certainly a lucrative thing to do because people would be on my live streams and they pay me $5-10 to freestyle on a certain beat or whatever, or they might make a beat for me and ask me to do a freestyle over it and things like that. And so in this last year, that was kind of the big thing that I had done. And now I'm trying to get back. I think I'll be getting back into more. I've been saying this for like probably the last year, but I'm really, I did a release recently called the Days Freestyle, where I kind of challenged myself to make it a little more lyrical, and I was pretty satisfied with how it came out. So I'm back to making some more lyrical rap right now, and then I've been able to better my singing quite a bit too through practice. So I'll probably have some more singing melodies, things like that coming here in the future. But as far as who inspires me with music, I couldn't really tell you 100% for sure, because when I want to make music, and this is how it's always been for me, when I want to make something, I want to make something that's going to express how I feel exactly. So if I feel a certain particular kind of way, I'm going to be inspired by a very particular artist at that time that I might be familiar with, that I've listened to their music, and I know when I listened to this song by this artist, it evoked this emotion in me previously. I feel this emotion now. I'm going to go back and maybe listen to this album or this project, or maybe even just that song that I think of a few times, and that kind of, I get inspired by that at that time, so that I can, it helps me kind of line up with the direction I want to take to express my own emotions, so it's sounding like how I want it to, and not just it's mismatching or whatever, like the production and the acoustic sonic qualities of it with the emotional aspect of it that I'm using to express myself.
Well, then, who is your, I guess, favorite musicians, like of all time? I guess, if you can think of any.
Mm. Well, it's kind of funny.
This determines whether I delete the episode or not. Go on.
Well, there was one artist, and here's the thing about it. When everything started going online, it kind of changed the game a little bit. But there was one artist before YouTube and everything like that I would go out of my way. I'd go onto eBay to get their albums, and that was one rapper, Zero the Crooked, aka the Most City Don, aka Rother Vandross. Basically, if you go back into his discography, which spans many, many years, he always was like melodic and soulful, but also at the same time like aggressive. He had been like he was like a homeless orphan and all this different stuff. And so when I got put onto his music around like 2004, I believe, as I recall, I just became like an instant fan. And he was like the artist because we didn't sometimes even have money to eat, but I would put aside like $1 here or there to get his music, physical copies. Like I got like merch from him. There's like a old video from I think 2015 where I'm wearing this like tall tee. It's like bedazzled with like but I got it from a store in Houston, Texas, because like that was just how I felt. I felt like he was like an artist he was really, he had a lot of problems with women, in his life, and so he would make songs kind of detailing his frustration with these hoes and so on. And it just spoke to me so much at the time too. It just covered such a range of like that real struggle. People at the time, they say that like he was kind of like he was Tupac-esque in that way, that he had this very like poignant, like pointed, very emotional kind of style of like aggression, like fuck the world and fuck society, but at the same time kind of bringing some of the soulfulness into it too. So I think as far as this music stuff goes, the where I started at with production and everything like that, like Zero, and to a larger extent like DJ Screw and the Screwed Up Click, as well as MF Doom and MF Grimm, and even like before, I listened to like the old Paid in Full. I was listening to Nas. I was listening to Eric B and Rakim. I was listening to like all like these guys from like the late 80s, early 90s, like on the East Coast tip at the time. But as far as like what really kind of moved me with the music was stuff down south. That's why I've been like really tapped into Texas music, and I still am to this day. I follow like all the the regional pages and artists and stuff, even artists that really don't get maybe more than 1,000 views after like 6 months. They still have songs that I'll come back to. So I guess the Texas scene in general, was kind of where I wanted to be with, or what inspired me to kind of pick up the mantle and get into that kind of music, was those artists that I heard. And I listened to like UGK and stuff for the first time probably 20 years ago, and kind of got tapped in around that time with the Southern atmosphere, and even like Memphis too, like 8 Ball and MJG and all that. And I kind of just that was what I really liked at that time. But of course I listened to a lot of like rock and roll, jazz, old folk music, soul, gospel. I like to dance to like big band and swing music. I have there's like a playlist on YouTube that when I'm feeling groovy, I'll just be like dancing around doing like 1930s dances and stuff. I really like everything, but as far as where I started, that was kind of what, and I suppose with some of the more rock or like punk, post-punk, goth, whatever, I got put on to like John Moss or John Moss, however you want to. I'm pretty sure it's John Mouse, but because I was born in Minnesota, he's from Minnesota, and so like I kind of got put onto that, like at a time, but like before MDE and stuff like that. But then that's kind of I'd heard of it, and then it kind of reminded me of it. So like around the time that John Mouse was involved with MDE, I went back and I actually bought his discography at that point. I own that too. So I really like. I've made some Mouse-esque stuff that I haven't really released either, but yeah, I always enjoyed the sonic qualities of his music as well.
Mm-hmm.
So just like an
You're
all-around
very well-rounded man musically.
Yeah, I just like something that sounds good.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody about this recently, and they're like, "Oh, what's somebody who's like really into like more, I guess, like indie rock? Let's say they have all these. They're talking about these bands. I don't even know what they're talking about. They're like, what do you like? And I'm like, I like everything. And they're like, I'm like, no, I also like everything and rap and country, but I cut off if somebody's gonna play country, I tend to cut it off like mid '90s at the latest. I'm really into old country for sure, bluegrass, blues in general.
Listen to Wheeler Walker Jr.
I have heard him, yeah.
He goes.
I've heard of who am I thinking of? Hank Williams III. I remember, yeah, people were like telling me that he was definitely what was up, but this was like years ago too. So I haven't listened to his work recently. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's for sure good new artists out there now. It's just kind of like a rule of thumb for me. Like, I just hear too much of that pop country, and it's just like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to listen. Like, there's not much that I don't want to listen to, but just as someone who also, growing up rurally and everything, and kind of, trailer park-esque, I have an affinity for the older country. I listened to a lot of it growing up, and so like when I hear like the new stuff, I'm kind of like, just turn it off.
Sounds like Dookie.
Yeah.
I think that's all the questions that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was you have anything else to add, Mr. Eggman?
To everybody out there that hears this, anybody in the audience, and anyone who's going to hear it later, just remember to take care of yourself. Make sure you're getting your vitamins and minerals. Make sure you got a good sleep schedule. Video games are fun, and internet's fun and all that stuff. But I just want everybody to, I'm just gonna tell you as an older guy, it's a lot of fun, but you gotta just remember to take care of yourself too, because one day you wake up and you're old like me, and you're like, you kind of start having that wanting, like, where you're kind of like, this has been fun, but it's sort of like, it feels less substantial, like when you get older, like, that you should be having a little bit more well-rounded in your day-to-day activities. So just keep it in mind. I'm not going to say that you can't have some fun gaming marathons and stuff. You know what? I sure still like that too. But for you youngsters out there, make sure you have good habits, because that stuff adds up. It's like you do one thing a day, and all of a sudden you're my age, and it's been 3,000 days. And if you did something once a day for 3,000 days, you're pretty much a master. So think about it.
That is true. That is very true.
Dude, he's not wrong, dude. He's spitting wholeheartedly. He's spitting gospel. All right. Well, Jenny, anything else to add?
I do not. I wanted to say this has been very insightful, however, I do believe.
It has been. Thank you for all your wisdom. I will take everything you say at face value.
That's right. And remember, kids, voting and democracy are the best thing in the world. No, I'm just playing.
I love voting.
Oh, psych.
I love the government. All right. That was a very nice episode of Underground Anonymous. I was your host, Sex Idol, to your co-host, Jenny Deaths, and your special guest, Eggman.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody. Smash that like button. Make sure you definitely are subscribed to the channel.
Everyone, go check out Eggman's Instagram, YouTube channel, SoundCloud. I'll link all of it in the description right now. And goodbye. I hate all of you.
Peace.